In a dark world, remember to be the light. Welcome to Black Swan Revelations. Here is your host, the Black Swan himself, Shane.
What do we know so far? What do we know? I'm going to go through that in this video. If you like this kind of thing, feel free to stick around. Feel free to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So far, we know that Donald Trump was almost killed. That's obvious. What we don't know is the motivation, why the alleged shooter took out Donald Trump. There's been evidence, I guess, tossed around that the alleged shooter, and why I say alleged is because it's a mystery. It's a little bit of a mystery, and I'll get to that. The alleged shooter was known to do searches online in regards to Lee Harvey Oswald to find out what the distance was from where he allegedly shot JFK. So that's kind of weird in itself when most people today say it was a cover-up. It was a conspiracy to cover up what really happened. So they blamed it on Lee Oswald. So it's interesting that I think it was the director of the FBI brings that up right out of the gate, that this person was doing a search for the distance for Lee Oswald. I'm like, well, considering the fact that you're probably the only one that actually believes that Lee Harvey Oswald was the one that actually shot JFK, it's kind of weird that you bring it up when you're in charge of the FBI. So, another thing that pops up. Another thing. He had a rangefinder that fits in his pocket. And there's footage, and maybe I'll show this footage. It's a little bit disturbing, but they do cover up the shooter's face. They basically are going through his pockets. They grab his phone. They find what they say is a detonator, and the guy knows to remove the battery. Whoever the guy was, one of the snipers, whom I believe were actually in the two-story building. But nobody wants to talk about those guys. I think you need to start interviewing those people, the ones in the two-story building. If you can interview those people, you'll solve the crime of the century. You'll solve this assassination attempt. You'll figure it out. Because I'm starting to lean on the idea that these guys were the ones that actually fired shots into the crowd. Because the first time we got a hint that there were snipers in the two-story building was basically on day one. And the next day where they said there were snipers positioned in the two-story building behind the alleged shooter, and they were pointing into the crowd, and there were eyewitnesses saying, we thought they were shooting at us. Us. Isn't that interesting? They might have been. They might have been shooting at you, because if you were in front of Trump and Trump's behind you, there is a chance that they were actually shooting at him, but you would have thought they were shooting at you until you realize, wait a minute, those are authorities. Why would they be shooting at us? That should be a question that all interested parties should be asking. Why were there snipers on a two-story building? Why? And why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about the angle? And why don't we ask the question, what kind of guns that they have, and what did the shells look like that were on the roof? And how come we don't have footage, the camera footage, the body cam footage of the officers arriving to the gunmen? Why are we seeing them chit-chatting with each other? It's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. So let me bring up this footage. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. All kinds of stuff here. Let's see. Where is it? No. Let me see if I can find it. Where did it go? No. Trying to see if I could find the footage. All right, I'll have to find it. I don't know where oh, it's in here. Hang on here. It's in here. Where would I have put it? Oh, I have to download it. Okay. That'll have to be in another video. Okay. The next video, I will show that footage, body cam footage, unless I can find it. Maybe I can find it online. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. I will find it. I will find it. All right. So I have the footage, and I'm going to show it to you. This is the body cam footage of the shooter. And this, again, this is the guy I believe was in the 2-story building. Now, I can't prove it yet, but I'm just guessing right now that these guys were, at least one of them was the one that was in that 2-story building. But I can't prove it just yet. But let's just listen to what they are saying about the shooter. And then this is one of the Secret Service, the guy at the helmet. I don't know if he has a headset on. I think he's just got a chin strap on. So let's just watch and see what's going on here.
We don't know. So this is the guy that
yes, that they sent the yes, Beaver County sniper scene.
We don't know. So this is the guy that
yes, that they sent the yes, Beaver County sniper scene and sent the pictures out. This is him.
Okay.
So the counter snipers, which were on the 2-story building, saw the alleged gunman, the shooter.
Rifles right there.
Rifles right there, which to me is an enigma in itself. Why on God's green earth is that rifle? What are those panels? 3 feet maybe? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 feet away. Why is the gun that far away? That doesn't make any sense. When you get shot, what? He threw it 15 feet away? And I want to know about that tower over there. I want to know if there's somebody up on that tower. That's important. Because there is a black dot up there. I don't know what that is. Not in the center of the tower, on the ball itself, but on top of it. It looks like there's somebody there. If we can somehow verify that, that would be fantastic, because this just happened. This was like, it appears seconds, if not minutes. Minutes, if not seconds, from when the guy got shot. And the guy is in shorts, gym shorts. Let's just continue here.
So the bike in the back, is he on that bike?
We don't know.
We don't know. So
I don't know.
So they're asking the question, was he on the bike or off the bike? Because now there's allegations or suggestions or thoughts, hints, whatever, that this guy was traveling on a bicycle, not necessarily a car. Which is interesting, because if this is outside the jurisdiction, it's not illegal to go on a roof. Now they're starting to say that there is a permanent ladder. A permanent ladder. So if you're going to go with the story of the permanent ladder, why did you inject the idea that he went to Home Hardware or Home Depot or whatever hardware store on Saturday morning to buy a 5-foot ladder. Why would you say that? And why would you put the bloody receipt into his hands? Like bloody, like it had blood on it, and they put it in his hands. So why did you do that if there's a permanent ladder? Because day 1, day 2, day 3, a whole week went by, and they kept saying, we can't find the ladder. Huh, wow. We don't know what this guy did, because he checked in with Mega Screening, and all he had was a rangefinder, a golf rangefinder, which, my friends, is not illegal in the United States of America. That is not illegal to have a rangefinder. So stop saying it's suspicious. It's not illegal. It's not illegal to have binoculars. Otherwise, you can't see who's on the stage. So stop trying to incriminate someone for wearing or for using or holding onto a golf rangefinder. It's not illegal. Because they said he just looked suspicious, but all he had on him was a rangefinder. Did he have a ladder? No. Did he have a weapon on him? No. Let him through. He's fine. Nothing wrong. Nothing to see here. Unless you're trying to infer that he hid the ladder. Once he climbed up, he took the ladder and threw it somewhere. Because your people were saying the ladder was missing. Now people are saying there is a permanent ladder there. And I've seen the ladder, and it looks like it's fixed to the side of the roof. It's straight up and down. There's no arc to it. You know how when you take a ladder, where am I here? You have the wall. Usually you tip the ladder like this, and then you climb up it. If it gets really steep, there's a chance of it falling over or whatever. So you got to put it at a bit of an angle, and usually somebody holds on to the ladder at the bottom. But in this case, there's a ladder basically parallel, I guess, with the side of the wall. And it looked like, to me, it was fixated to the wall. That's the problem. Like every day, it seems like there was no ladder. Now there's a ladder. So I want to know how these guys got up onto that roof. If they used a permanent ladder to get up on the roof, to me that nullifies or gets rid of the idea that the shooter had a ladder. And it gets rid of the idea that who cares if he bought a ladder Saturday morning? Who cares if on Friday he said he's taking the day off? Maybe he wanted to go to the rally. That's not illegal to want to go to a rally. Let's continue here.
Treating that as suspicious device.
Oh, 1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there?
So we now know the sniper that was in the building, his name is Greg. We need to look this guy up. We need to identify this guy as, we just need to interview him. We just need to ask him questions. Where is Greg? Where is Greg? Because he's the guy that took pictures of the shooter just before they were told to leave the 2-story building to go look for the shooter. That makes zero sense. Why would you go look for a shooter when he's taking shots on the president? Why? So this guy is saying Greg is still in the building.
All right, so if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
Okay, so we get from this guy here that has binoculars or whatever on his head. He just said that if you talk to Greg, let's just back up here.
I believe
Greg is in the 2-story building right here. All right, let me see.
I don't know.
Right there. So there are some people, there's an eyewitness that says that a shooter was in, a sniper was in that window right there. I'm not sure. A better shot would have been the other.
Oh, 1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there? All right, so if you,
Right there. See where he's pointing? He's not pointing to the right. He's pointing to the left where there's an open window. There's actually 5 windows, I believe. 2 on the right and then 2 or 3 more. He just asked Michelle if Greg is still inside the building because he's the one that took the photo of the shooter on his bike right up until the point where he actually ended up on the roof. And he's still there. He's still in the building. So people were saying that they actually left to go look for the shooter. So that's not making any sense. When this guy is pointing at that 2-story building saying, Greg, the guy that took the pictures of the shooter on the bike is in that building. Right, Michelle? Michelle's like, yes, he is. Go get him. Bring him here. Is this the guy you shot? Oh, I didn't shoot him. Okay. Ask the right questions. It's mind-boggling to me.
if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
Okay.
He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah.
Okay, and see that backpack down there? Nobody seems to know who that backpack belongs to.
He's like got his glasses on and he's
I don't know what pictures he's looking at. I'm thinking he's looking at the pictures of the shooter that was on a bike.
So we had the picture of that.
I got that.
Okay, and then this is his bike with the stuff. And our sniper seen him walking away from that, I believe.
Okay.
But he would be right inside that window.
So the sniper saw this shooter guy walk away from his bike.
He's the one that physically seen this, sent the pictures, and called it out.
Okay, so
He's the one that physically seen the pictures, saw it, and coded it.
and we have somebody detained, correct?
That I don't know.
Detained on this side. Right. Our guy that was just up here told me that there's a guy detained who's the owner of the bike, and I said, no, I think that's the owner of the bike. Yeah.
So they're like, okay, somebody just told me that the owner of the bike is detained. And then now this guy is saying, I thought the owner of the bike is right here, the guy that shot.
Yeah, basically,
We've been up here, so we wouldn't know that information.
We've been up here, so we don't know that information. And here's another sniper.
We just hold ass. We got every.
Got it.
We hopped up over.
Yeah, no problem.
And Michelle there looks like she has some kind of latex gloves on or something. Interesting.
Is that all your stuff?
That was one of our.
Yeah, so someone came up looking to treat him.
So someone came up looking to treat him. Looking to treat him. Who? The shooter. Because he was shot to death.
Yes.
Copy. Gas is off to the building, just so you know.
Thank you. Yeah, they do. I talked to them. They were there's people detained with filming.
Water was notified. They authorized.
Maybe they were involved. Maybe they
They
weren't.
will start somebody.
Other than that, I haven't heard anybody.
But I think it's
Pulls out the line today.
the guys that saw them filming were like, oh, they were filming us, and then filming the guy up on the roof, and then filming us.
Weird. They were filming the guys on the building, and then they said then they were filming us. This lines up with another video of another witness saying it looked like they were shooting at us because he was caught in the middle of the crossfire. And if I could find that interview, I'll find it.
And then when shots started firing, they like tried to run away. Like, isn't that what everybody would do that has a phone? You know, I'm not saying they weren't involved, but you know what I mean? Like that.
It's up in the air right now, right?
Right. So I got no problem detaining them. But again, I'm just trying to.
They're saying just because you're filming something and you hear shots fired and you run away doesn't make you suspicious. I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. So this, if you notice the time frame, this is taken at 7:10 p.m. on July 13th. So basically 50 minutes after the shooting.
Detain those guys, find out what they know, who they are, whatever. I'm trying to get clear information to relay back to DC.
Breach souls and warrant.
So that phone he's using right there, that security officer, Secret Service, everything goes back to DC, is what he just says. This is what I'm trying to relay back to DC. So that phone is getting photos from this crime scene, and it's being sent to DC. He just said it.
Tower.
We have one shooter deceased. I think we have 3 victims in the crowd. Did you guys hear that too?
That I'm not sure.
So I heard one.
So these guys are dumb. They don't even know anything. They're like, no, we don't know.
One deceased, 2 white fighting.
I know 2 helicopters did take off.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how many
Well,
victims.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can find the interview where the guy said, I thought they were shooting at me. So 1 second. Let me see if I can find it here. All right. So I have the footage now. So this is footage of an eyewitness that heard and saw what was going on. So let's watch this now.
To talk with people who were inside of that rally, Bill. I'm just going to check in with people as we develop here live with this coverage. So you were inside. What exactly did you hear and what did you see?
So we heard something that sounded like a firecracker, and we turned around, and there was people behind us, and it was 2 of our guys, I think, in camo uniform shooting back. And then we seen a guy inside the crowd here, probably 15 away from us, get shot. They said there was a casualty, and he was dead, and somebody else got shot. And then apparently our guys were shooting on top of the building, and everybody started cheering once they got the shooter. You could see him up on top of the building there.
Okay. So when this was all happening, because now when you play it back, you can, kind of figure it out and make it more succinct. But when this was happening, did you know where these possible shots were coming from?
I mean, I could see the guys literally the shots that we heard at the time, we thought it was somebody. Turned around, we seen smoke literally coming out of the barrel. The guys behind us, at the time we thought they were coming at us, but it happened to be our guy shooting back at him.
That's interesting. So when the eyewitness here turns his head back, he sees smoke coming out of the barrels. So that he's like, they were actually shooting back. Interesting, right? That's pretty quick. Pretty quick. Let's continue here.
So everybody was freaking out, thinking we were going to get shot by the people right behind us, but they were.
So he was worried that he was going to get shot by the people behind him. Still not sure where these people are. He mentioned up on the roof. I'm assuming the second set of snipers to the south. There's basically 3 red barns. We're going to have a look at the animation coming up here, but let's just continue.
They're actually protecting us, shooting the shooter.
And where was the shooter, according to what you're seeing and when you were there?
Here, and our shooter's up to our left, probably, I don't know, 40 feet away or so, up on top of that building or whatever it was.
Yeah, but the possible shooter, whoever possibly fired.
That got shot. I don't know if he had whatever. Somebody said he had a pistol. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But somebody in the crowd got shot from our guys or somebody. I don't know. And he.
So, are you following what's going on here? This eyewitness is saying that when he turned behind him, he saw smoke coming out of these guns from these 2 snipers. And then when he turned, somebody got shot in front of him, and he thought these guys were shooting at him. And this guy, he wasn't sure if he had a gun because he got shot. So this guy is either confused or he saw something a little bit different than the media is sharing with us. Because to him, it's 20, 30 feet away. Gunshots are being fired.
Whatever.
So it's a confusing situation. But when you heard those pops, did they sound like they were coming from in the crowd, outside of the crowd, outside of that fence near the retention pond?
It literally sounded like it was 20 feet behind us. Right.
So the gunshots sounded like it was literally 20 feet behind us. I'm sorry, folks, but that's not how gunshots work if it's 130 yards away. It won't sound like the gun is going off 10 feet behind you. It won't. You're going to hear a bit of an echo of the bullets hitting something, but you may not necessarily hear the gunshot right beside you. It's going to sound like it's far away, at least 200 feet away. So this guy is making it sound like this is like an old West scenario where guns are being fired right around him, 20 feet away, 30 feet away. Let's continue.
Right outside the fence, right there. I mean, it was literally 10 feet behind us. The guys that were our guys were 15 feet behind us. We literally watched them shoot back. I mean, they were right there.
How many shots did it look like the law enforcement fired at a possible shooter?
2 to 4. I mean, there was at least two different sets of shots. You could hear 2 different guns. There was 4 shots from at least one and 2 shots from another gun that you could tell. There was 2 different guns that I could hear. I don't know which was which. It was hard to tell which was which. Okay. All you could see was smoke, and you could hear the bullets, and then you seen people, and somebody got shot, and you could actually. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Glad you're okay.
All right. Man, oh man, it doesn't get any easier, does it? So he's saying it sounded like 4 to 6 shots fired 10, 15 feet away from him into the crowd. He thought they were shooting at him. This is not adding up. This is not adding up at all. And I'm trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt that he's confused. What he really meant to say is 7 shots were fired from 200, 300 feet away. And what he meant to say is the second group of snipers on the building above him shot 1 shot and killed the shooter that's 200 feet away that we can't see here. That's what I think he wanted to say or meant to say. But that's not what he said. He said they're 10, 15 feet away shooting past him, and he thought they were shooting at him. And when he turned, somebody dropped. And then he turned back, he saw the smoke in the guns. And he figures one guy shot 4 shots, one guy shot 2. How about 3 shots, and how about 4 shots? How about one guy firing 3 and then the other guy firing 4? It's not adding. This is bizarro world right now. Let me see if I can find another witness. All right, so now we have another eyewitness. Let's have a look at this one. See if his story matches.
Bring in Ryan Knight. He was actually an eyewitness at yesterday's shooting. Ryan, you say you saw the shooter moments before he took aim at the former president. Talk to me about what happened in that moment.
All right. So I just got over to the fence line where the rally was going on. I just left my job, Pizza Pie. I was going over there to see Donald Trump.
All right. I'm just going to back this up a couple seconds here.
About 10 minutes into it, a guy beside me looks going on. I just left my job, Pizza Pie. I was going over there to see Donald Trump start speaking. About 10 minutes into it, a guy beside me looks over and he said, he has a gun. He has a gun. I look up at the top of the AGR building, and there was a gentleman going in prone position with a rifle. He then laid down, took 4 shots. I'm thinking it was 4, could have been 5. It was a kind of a chaos at the moment at the president. As I heard that and seen that, I was with my one.
What's interesting there is that's not where the shooter was killed. So they need to stop showing this. I know this is older, but that's what they thought. They thought that the shooter was to the left of the screen. He wasn't. But it also coincidentally lines up with the 2-story building where I say two rifles were pointed at the crowd, most likely at Trump from this building. I think those are the people that are responsible for taking out Donald Trump. Because why would they leave after the shots are fired? Why would they have to leave, and why would they have to go look for the shooter? It doesn't was prone, and then he lied down, and they saw him fire 4 or 5 shots. There's no way you could see that guy firing the shots from this tree line. And any of the footage that we have is always shaky cam, and you can't even get a good direct line of sight on the guy.
One buddy, we kind of pushed him to the ground. As we're looking up, I heard one more shot and seen the guy's head kick back and split open. And that's how that went down. After that, it was chaos. You seen Secret Service cops rushing towards the AGR building.
I find it interesting as well that there wasn't enough information or enough resources to cover the AGR building. But as soon as shots were fired, Secret Service, law enforcement, cop cars, squad cars, busting fences were everywhere. Everywhere. That's amazing. Why didn't you just put one cop car right at the front, right by the AGR building, instead of everybody arriving all at once and all chaos, agents everywhere? It's weird, right? It's too fast. It's too fast.
Around to start pushing people out.
Now, you say you were yelling, as was that person next to you, that he's got a gun,
Yes.
a gun, trying to wave down security. What was the reaction of security around you? Did they hear you? Did they understand what you were talking about?
One weird thing I thought was weird, there was no Secret Service on top of the AGR building. They were across the field where Donald Trump was. So I don't think they could have heard us at the time because how far the distance was until they started seeing the chaos of people start running and screaming. Because it, like I said, he was able to get probably 4 shots off before they took him out.
Ryan, what was your reaction in that moment? Did you feel like maybe you were mistaken, or maybe it was, we have a tendency sometimes to downplay situations when we are in them, or did you realize right away what was about to happen?
I realized right away what was happening. I was scared for my life.
It's interesting that he shakes his head no. I realized right out of the gate that we were in trouble. Nobody says that. I'm not trying to blame this guy, but usually say, oh, I definitely 100% knew that Donald Trump was being assassinated or being shot at. That's how you say it. You don't go, I knew. That means you're lying or something's going on in your head.
I threw my owner. He's an older man, 70 years old. I threw him to the ground. And then I tried to get down to the ground with him because the shots were going off. And I could see the smoke coming out his gun. It was intense. It was really surreal.
So another guy seeing smoke coming out of the gun.
What was it like right after then?
Chaos. You got multiple agencies trying to move people, figure out what's actually going on. Of course, they rushed the building, went up there and make sure he was dead. It was nuts. I don't know how other ways to explain it. It was just massive chaos.
And are you having conversations about this now, Ryan? When you got home last night and in talking to other people from the community, what are they saying? How are they reacting to this?
They're very frightened. Scary thing. Butler's a very small town. And for something this big to happen in such a small area, it's quite an eye-opener.
Ryan, how do you feel now? I mean, you witnessed something incredibly dramatic yesterday. Do you feel like it's sunk in?
Oh, yeah. It's sunk in hard. It definitely makes me feel like we are a little divided here in our country, which we should not be.
That's an interesting thing to say. We're a little bit divided and we shouldn't be.
Well, Ryan, I'm so sorry that you had to witness what you did yesterday. I'm glad that you and your colleagues are safe, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. So he was there, threw a 70-year-old guy down, and he was still able to see the shooter where he was, even though he's on his belly, covering the 70-year-old, and he can look up and see the shooter firing shots, and he said he saw smoke. I'm pretty sure you can't see anything on the ground. I'm pretty sure. From the distance, doesn't matter. If you're closer, you definitely can't see the shooter because you're below the wall. You're below the ceiling. So there's no way there's no way you could see it. It's actually easier to see where the shooter is if you're farther away, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet. But if you go on your belly, it's not easy to see the shooter, especially if he's on the opposite side of the building, on the north side of the building. So I would grill him again for his testimony to see if it exactly lines up exactly how he told it to this lady. I'd ask him again the question. Ryan is his name. Anyways, in the next video, I'm going to show some more animation, different angles, and put this in. Maybe this will help put things into perspective. Keep in mind, nobody's talking about the two-story building. There's no animation yet that I've seen where they actually show the shooters in those buildings. It's mystery people. Mystery people. Why they left to go look for the shooter when they saw the shooter below them is a mystery. That needs to be solved. So I hope you got something out of this. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you. Make sure and subscribe to this channel. Make sure and leave a comment. I always value the comments. If you want to email me, if there's something that I made a mistake on, something you want me to talk about a little bit more, or if you have some newsworthy footage surrounding this area that maybe I haven't come across yet, let me know that. Just email me. If you want to be on this channel, Black Swan Pod Requests at Gmail, and we'll see if we can get you on the show. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys in another video. Bye for now.
Black Swan Revelations here on YouTube brought you today's mind-bending journey. Dive into the discussion, your comments, questions, prayer requests, and powerful testimonies of Jesus' love are what fuel this community. Did today's episode hit home? Smash that like button. New here? Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a live stream or a video upload. Thanks for being part of today's adventure. Catch you in the next video, or maybe even in the clouds. Stay curious, stay blessed.